Well, the Kit Pharaoh bull and the pairs I got from Lance are getting to know the red or the black cattle now. Let's get a little closer. Looks like old number 9's got some competition for being the boss. She's getting chopped down. So I bought these Red Angus from Lance Klessig. He's a local Minnesota guy. He likes Minnesota a lot more than Wisconsin too. He told me, and he had a Kit Pharaoh bull that he wanted to cycle out. And isn't he a beaut? Look how low he is, and he's very calm. And I just they were all the way down in that corral, and I just walked them up with a piece of string. So great temperament. And everyone's kind of figuring out the new pecking order here. They're all just nose to butt smelling each other and figuring it out. And the way he's on that old 14 of mine makes me think that AI didn't take again. So I won't have to do a blood test. I'll just see who's getting mounted. But these Red Angus are establishing their authority over my black cattle. It's good. As far as herd combos go, I've seen a lot more violent ones. This is pretty peaceful. But he's definitely interested in my 4-year-old cow over there, which, to be honest, I'd rather have that Kit Pharaoh bull on her than the AI that I got to use. So if he breeds her now, yeah, it's a little late, but I'll get over it. And we got the sheep separated because Bob and that steer simply can't get along. But if you made me guess, I'd say that these Red Angus are running the show already. They already sent the black ones running. It's pretty interesting. I love my brush cleanup crew. These guys are just tremendous for cleaning up all the little BS that grows over the course of a summer in my tree line. All these little saplings don't stand a chance. So here's kind of what we're leaving behind. The cows were here, the sheep were here yesterday, and there's some here. And then they're in a fresh paddock. So we're doing a leader follower setup here mostly because that boy right there and that boy right there can't leave each other alone. So, you know, just like brothers fighting, you separate them. But it's just fun to sit here and watch them. It takes, I mean, this would be a tremendous amount of work to cut every one of these little saplings out. And they're just going to exhaust them over time. It's great. You know, I have 2 layers of trees. We got our tall, mature trees, and then we have these kind of second layer, scrubby, brushy trees below. And the sheep really keep them in check. I really like these cows, but the longer I bring these sheep up to my standard, you know, as I cull, I mean, I'm just so pleased with them. Every year I'm going to be able to get, look at her, she's rubbing her butt on the branch. Every year it's going to get better. She really is a great guard dog. That's what she does. She lays down, conserves energy. The neighbor's hauling silage, it looks like. Lays down and conserves energy, and then deals with problems as they come. I'm just going to kind of briefly go through what we have as Doug and I are piecing together a herd over time. You know, is we have, well, that's a steer, but that's a heifer calf out of that one, I think. Yep. And then bred. Look at this Kit Pharaoh bull. We bought that from Lance, and I just look how short he is. I mean, he just looks like Ann calls him a hippopotamus, but he's thick and short, and that's what we want to try to bring into these animals. And then we got 2 Red Angus cows that are bred, one there, and then that's a bull calf. And we'll probably end up steering him. I mean, unless we think he's gonna be worth selling as a bull, but I don't see it, to be honest. You know, and we're gonna slowly just bring, just like the sheep, we're gonna bring the value of the herd up by, you know, choosing good animals and then selecting and selecting and selecting. But he's a nice looking calf. And there's his mom. So we got a couple of Red Angus. We got my Highland Angus mutts, an American short-horned steer, and this Kit Farrow Red Angus bull. And he's as calm as you'd like, honestly. When I went to move him today, he just kind of looked at me and like this. Yeah. And then I go, hey. Hey. See, he's so tame. He doesn't want to move. Come on. There you go. So I know bulls can be dangerous and we have to be cautious. But, you know, that's not the end of the world. And she's a nice looking heifer calf too. So this is the start of it. Now I'm kind of satisfied with where, back to the sheep, with where I am with this flock. And we're going to just continue, you know, now that we're at the, you know, next year we'll be at the final size I'd like to be. So we're going to keep the sheep home and then add more pasture and grazing, and take the cattle and, you know, run them at Doug's. So my farm can support about 100 sheep. So that's what we'll do. And that'll allow me to start selling seed stock, breeding rams, and really select until I get these animals where I want them. But if you want to look at what the potential is, you know, because sometimes these lambs look pretty small, like, right? These are small over here. But this is she was born May of last year. What a great looking sheep. She was born May of 21. So they're thick bodied, and they can carry lambs on this type of forage all year. And I've had triplets. I've never had quads, but I've had triplets carried by these ewes without totally losing condition. I like these calves. That little bull calf I got from Lance is full of piss and vinegar. So one of the things I've been having to adjust for is I've been forced by circumstances to set up a lead and a follower grazing schedule. Primarily because of my guard dogs and their inability to play nice with some of these cattle. And so the fly in the ointment, as it were, is pretty much the issue of sizing my paddocks correctly. Because I had a really strong feel for what it was all in, but I've added, you know, quite a few more animals, and I've set up this leader follower setup, and so it's kind of led to me overgrazing a few paddocks, and I'm still trying to sort through it. So I'm doing much larger paddocks for what these animals need. Like, I'm putting in paddocks that they could do all in one day. So these cows come through and they'll take, maybe 30 or 40% of the grass in here, and then the sheep will come behind and take the remaining grass. And I'm still just trying to get a feel for what that is, because having those two groups, it's not quite as efficient as having one group. So and then having the added complexity of the movements has just, you know, had me reevaluating exactly how experienced my grazer's eye is. But I really like this bull. We bought Lance's Kit Pharaoh Genetics Red Angus bull, and he found some. It was so funny. He was rolling around in a little bit of mud like a dog the other day, like he was like a little puppy or something. But he's actually, even though he's an absolute hulk, he's actually shorter than both these Red Angus, and he's about the same height as my two black ones back there. So he's a very stout, compact, thick guy, which is exciting to bring those genetics into this little beginning of a herd. Doug and I have been kicking around how to go about further expanding this, but you know, we're not in a tremendous hurry, as it were. But back to grazing. So this is what up to the tree line. This is what these cattle will get for today, and they should leave at least half the grass back, and then the sheep will come in and play cleanup. And so far that's been working okay.